Hello, this is Paul with Logix Magazine. Today we're going to talk about what a controls designer is. All right, we're going to get started here. So normally what we think about is, when we think about designing as controls engineers, as PLC programmers, we normally think of electrical prints, right? I mean, that's usually where that's our exposure to design, right? However, it's getting more and more common to build your controls program, your electrical prints from 3D drawings like this. This is getting to be more and more common. They actually hired SolidWorks draftsmen to actually create a machine that has some simulation that a controls engineer will then use to build their electrical prints, and the machine builders will use to build the machine. This is becoming more and more common practice, but it goes even beyond that. So what is a controls designer? So right here in Career Planner, we look at a job description for controls designer. Designs and drafts systems of electrical, hydraulic, and pneumatic controls for machines and equipment such as arc welders, robots, conveyors, programmable controllers, applying knowledge of electricity, electronics, hydraulics, and pneumatics. Discusses a project with supervisor master title and applications engineer and manufacturing to review functions of the machines and equipment. So basically what this is saying is you have to have a very sound and solid knowledge base of electrical, hydraulic, pneumatic controls for machines. And you will use that knowledge to build welders, robots, conveyors, work with PLCs, and applying your knowledge of electricity, hydraulics, etc. So basically what they're saying is they're needing somebody with a very strong controls and electromechanical background to be able to work with designers or be a part of the design team. And that's what we're talking about today. And as we look into some of this, you'll see exactly why it's so critical that you have this solid controls background. So here, let's look at a job application here. So this one is a looking for somebody, level 1 robotics and controls design engineer for Treva Automation as an engineering service provider specialized in automation, process, and assembly of OEMs, tier 1 automotive suppliers. So somebody, let's see, job description, design electrical control systems for automated equipment such as electrical panels, PLCs, robots, and conveyors. Qualifications, AutoCAD and/or E-Plan, software and/or hardware design, ControlLogix and/or Siemens S7 PLCs, factory talk, WinCC, electrical troubleshooting. All right, so they're looking for somebody with a little bit of experience, somebody who understands controls and has a very sound background. But we're looking for a controls designer. Now, it's very important that it's a clear distinction, not a controls programmer. That's what we're talking about today. And once you see what is going on today and what's going to be going on in the future, I think you'll understand why it's so critically important. And you're going to run into these types of positions and opportunities more and more as time goes by, and you'll see why when we get going here. So let's take a look at so again, normally we start with an electrical print, right? That's normally what we are looking at, right? But the electrical prints these days can also look a lot more like taking these electrical prints and working and building designs like this that have a 3D component to them, and that's where a lot of the design elements come in. So your panels look a little more, your drawings look a little more like this. It can call out a very specific wire, call out a very specific item, and it has a 2D/3D kind of look and feel to them. And this is that more controls design that I'm talking about. These are becoming more and more popular as the software developers such as SolidWorks creates programs that let you do this. And vendors and even some of the controls guys, some of the new controls guys really love building off of this. It tells them exactly where the device is, what it looks like, and they literally just build off of these types of drawings. So when you're looking at that, that's becoming more and more popular. All right. So, but it doesn't stop there. I mean, this is just the beginning. Just the beginning. That's what's important here to understand. It's not just some sort of 3D type of drawing that that I'm talking about regarding controls designing. It goes bigger than that. Now what they're talking about, what they're working is something they're calling the digital twin. Oh, so what you're going to do is you're going to work with, if you're a controls designer, you're going to work with the design team. You're going to work with controls guys, and you're going to bring your controls knowledge and the machine builders, and you're going to take your knowledge and you're going to help build a 3D interactive design, not just like a drawing, but something that's actually interactive, that you will literally connect this software, this Emulate 3D, right to a PLC, and you will test your design right with the PLC. So your program will be written, you will test it in this 3D world, and you will do virtual commissioning of your equipment right here, right on this software, before it's ever even built. And this is really, Rockwell's bought into this. They own a large piece of this digital twin concept, and they got working with SolidWorks to really develop this as the future. But if you think that that's all there is, trust me, that's just one level. There's even more. I know it's amazing to think that there's more that we could do, but there is. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning. Now, obviously, if you're doing any kind of PLC programming at home, you're learning how to program at home, then you've worked with Factory I/O. Factory I/O is sort of that whole digital twin. The thing about the Factory I/O is you have only a limited library, but in a program like Emulate 3D, there is no limitation. You literally design everything that you want, everything that you need for a machine, and you'll literally build it and then write the program and test it right there. So while Factory I/O is very close, it is far and away nowhere near what is being done with Emulate 3D and what they plan on doing. But even if you think that's okay, that's pretty cool, that's all right, I understand that, I can see that. That's not even the top of what's being done today, right? So now you got literal virtual commissioning, simulation. You got goggles that you'll wear to interact with a virtual machine. This is the wave of the future. This is where it's going to move. All right. And you may say, man, Paul, you're way out in left field. What I'm telling you is they're spending millions of dollars to develop the virtual reality testing and machine commissioning. That will be the future. Make no mistake about it. So when I say controls, design, engineers, what I'm talking about is this level of growth. This is where this controls design career field will really grow. So the virtual type of design that we are just now beginning to get a feel for will lead us all the way to this 3D world where we literally interact with a machine that's not actually there. Now you say, come on, Paul, you're kind of reaching there, aren't you? Well, not really, because if we want to look at it, let's look at what. Let me shrink this a little. Let's look at. Right now, there are jobs on Indeed, on Glassdoor, on ZipRecruiter for controls designers. Somebody who has a very strong controls background and is going to merge with the design world. And you're talking about $57,000, $75,000 starting pay. Controls designer, level 1 robotics and controls. So that's another thing, especially when we're talking about robotics, somebody with controls background, a robotics background, to be able to work with FANUC and develop programs there and tie them into and interact with other controls, machines and conveyors and systems, and then do virtual testing and commissioning. That is also falls into that realm of controls designer. So it's a strong mix of controls and designing. So that's where I'm going with this, is that there is a broad future that's already there. It already exists. There's significant salary and pay for this type of position. It might be something you may have never thought of. You may have thought, well, I'm just gonna get into PLC programming and that's it. That's all that's as far as I can see. But if you think about all of this design integration with controls that is happening today, they're hiring for it, and the future is unlimited, especially when you start talking about virtual reality in controls and design. It's a bold new future, something out of Star Trek if you really think about it. But that's the type of jobs that are actually out there today. Well, anyhow, this is what I want to share with you today. Didn't want it to be too long. But if you want to take a look at it, I would just do exactly what I did. Put parentheses around controls designer. Look at the job opportunities, the salary, the companies that are hiring. Especially if you're new into controls, you've done some design work, any kind of design work in the past, you might be able to add a few things and go ahead and pursue some of these opportunities. All right. So if you have any questions, put them down below. If this is your first time here, you know what to do. Subscribe, especially if you really want to grow your automation career. This is the place to be. Hit that bell. That way you'll be notified every time we produce a video. So if you have any questions, put them down below. Until next time, keep programming, my friends.